Hey everybody out there in YouTube land. It is, what time is it? It's after 10 o'clock at night. I'm driving through Des Moines, Iowa. I'm not going to drive for a long time tonight. I'm going to shut her down a little bit after midnight. That way I only have about 6 hours to drive tomorrow to get into Pauls Valley, maybe 7. I wanted to talk tonight about something that I don't see many people talking about, and that's driving at night. Now this video is going to be dark because I'm definitely not going to turn a light on inside the cab while I'm driving at night. That is, if you're running a GPS or your phone or anything like that sitting in front of you on the dash, you want to turn the light down on it as low as you can and still see it. That glare of a bright light being in front of you and being between you and what's out in front of you on the road causes vision problems. You won't be able to see as well. So the darker it is in your cab, the easier it is to drive at night. Now the other thing is your windshield. Driving at night with oncoming traffic coming at you, anything on your windshield is going to light up, cause a glare, cause it hard for you to see. So when you're driving at night, you need to stop every couple hours. I mean, like every 2 hours, stop and wash your windshield. You start feeling like it's getting hard to see, it's probably because your windshield isn't clean. Man, driving at night with a nice clean windshield ain't no big thing. That windshield just starts getting a little dirty. It becomes difficult. So keep your windshield clean. Here's another little trick that I've found that's helpful. When I'm driving at night and I have oncoming traffic and I'm on a twisty or a windy road, if I'm going through a curve, it's easiest for me to see where I am in my lane by looking at the dotted line on the left side of my lane. That's in a curve. When I'm on a straightaway, it seems like it's easier for me to maintain my lane at night by looking at the solid line to the right. I don't know if that's just me or if everybody's that way, but you might try and make notice of those different things to see which way is more comfortable for you. One of the things, the reason why you have to have such good vision to drive a big truck is you need to be able to read all the signs. Now at night, it seems like it's a little harder for me to read the signs than it is during the daytime. Sometimes you have to read them pretty quick. But when you're driving at night, you want to read every single sign. Well, you want to do that during the daytime too, but especially at night. Read every single sign you pass. Now, I'm not talking about just the road signs. I'm talking about the advertisement signs on the side of the road. Those will let you know where the truck stops are, the next exit, all that kind of good stuff. Now, I actually run Trucker Path, and it helps out a lot, especially at night. tells me where my rest areas are, where my truck stops are, where the weigh stations are. I get all that information. So when I'm getting toward the end of my night of driving, see, like I plan on driving till midnight. So the last hour, about 11 o'clock, I will pull up my trucker path and I will start looking for a rest area or truck stop or where I'm going to park for the night. You know, about 60 miles out in front of my current location. Now I will tell you, if you're driving late into the night, trying to find a parking spot and a truck stop at midnight can be next to impossible. The chances of you finding that parking spot and a truck stop at midnight are pretty low. And your rest areas, on the other hand, is generally a lot easier. You'll find some people make statements about trucks like they'll refer to them as solar trucks. What they mean by solar trucks, there are some people driving these trucks that they only drive during the day. They plan their driving time so it's all during the light of the day. I definitely can understand that, and I understand why they do that. The people that do that, they're ending their drive time in between 4 and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're looking for a parking spot. That's why after 6 o'clock, parking spots are getting a little harder to find. Now me, I pull a reefer. And anybody that pulls a reefer knows that we do most of our drops and our pickups in the wee hours of the morning. It's pretty common when you're pulling a reefer that your drop is going to be in between midnight and 5 o'clock in the morning. Same thing with your pickups. For some reason, that's just the way that the frozen groceries, that's the way that freight moves. They want to get into the distribution center, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It goes out by 7 o'clock in the morning. They're hitting the grocery stores at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's just the way the freight moves. So if you're pulling a reefer, you better get used to driving at night. Now, when you're new coming into the business, the advantage of pulling a reefer is generally by pulling a reefer instead of a box van, they pay you a little bit more money. Generally, on average, your reefer loads are going to pay 4 or 5 cents more per mile than your dry van. To the driver, that is. And your hazmat loads pay even better than that. Now, I pull reefer all the time, but some of the times the loads I'm carrying are hazardous material. When I'm pulling hazardous material, I make more money. Tell you the truth, as far as I'm concerned as the driver, it ain't no big deal to carry hazardous material. My job pretty much remains the same. I mean, there's a few things that you need to do when you're pulling hazardous material. You're going to be restricted from going certain places. You have to stay on certain roads. Staying on the interstates, it's no big deal. But if you get off the interstate, there's some populated areas that you're not allowed to carry hazardous material loads through, obviously, because restricted from going through a lot of tunnels. A lot of tunnels are restricted from any hazardous material. When you come to a railroad crossing, you know, it's not just look and listen and carry on. You have to come to a complete stop, roll down your window, look and listen before you cross that railroad crossing. Your paperwork either has to be in the driver's side door panel or laying on the passenger seat within arm reach of the driver. That's in case something happens to you, you get involved in an accident, that the emergency crews know where to find your paperwork to figure out what you're hauling. They want to look at your manifest. It also has to do with your placards on the side of your truck. I didn't actually make this video to talk about hazardous loads. I wanted to talk about night driving. Don't let night driving freak you out. You're also going to find some people prefer driving at night. There's some advantages of driving at night, especially when you're driving through cities. Like right now, I'm driving through Des Moines, Iowa. I haven't had to touch my brakes once. There's hardly any traffic. And what traffic there is pretty sparse. So it makes moving around in the city pretty easy. Same thing with dropping your loads when you're coming into a receiver at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no traffic on the streets. So especially in those tight areas.
Keep left at the fork to continue on I-35 South.
When you get into those tight areas like shippers and receivers in New Jersey, New York, Chicago, Atlanta, those kind of places, you want to be coming into those.
Continue on I-35 South.
All right, lady, I got it. I'm taking I-35 South. Get off my back. You want to be coming
on I-35 South for 2 miles.
I got it. You want to be coming into those type of receivers at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when there's no traffic on the streets. Because a lot of time in those tight center cities like that where you're having to go, you may need to take up the entire street, oncoming traffic and everything, to be able to make a turn to get into some of these shippers and receivers. So 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, a lot of times is really cool. You can use the whole street, you can use all the lanes. You don't have any traffic to deal with. So there's some advantages to driving at night. You want to be especially careful not to outdrive your headlights. You want to drive at a speed that you can actually see, that you can actually stop in your headlights. Now when you're on your low beams, traveling at 65 miles an hour, I'm going to tell you right now, you're outrunning your headlights. High beams, you're not. High beams, you can see something in the road and stop in time. On your low beams, you can't.
In a half mile, keep left to stay on I-35 South.
Man, this lady, sometimes the GPS just nag. I don't even know why I got it on. This route I'm running right now from Minnesota down to Oklahoma.
Keep left to stay on I-35 South.
You know, I'm on my way home. Man, I've ran this route so many times. Because generally when I'm going home,
continue on I-35 South for 170 miles.
They booked me a load out of the terminal to my house. I'm going to Pauls Valley. Pauls Valley's within about 30 minutes of my house. Kind of nice too with the company that I drive for. When we go on home time, We don't park our trucks in a terminal. From the time you start with this company, when you get your truck issued to you, you don't ever leave it at the terminal. Whenever you go home, you park it in your driveway. Now me, I live in the country, so I can do that. I actually don't park it in my driveway, just because I don't want to upset my neighbors that live on my road by tearing up our road, because it's a private road. We own it. We maintain it. No reason tearing it up, bringing a 70,000, 80,000 pound tractor trailer down that road, doing a turnaround in my driveway. Tearing up the road, pissing off my neighbors. So I actually park my truck at a truck stop. It's about 2 miles from my house. How convenient is that? I leave my pickup at the truck stop when I'm gone. So I come in, park the truck stop, just get in my pickup and leave. And the owner of the truck stop, we're friends. He knows that's my pickup. I got his permission to leave it there. So I'm actually out on the road. Matter of fact, this is the shortest road time I've been on since I've been with this company I've been with. That might be the reason why they love me so much. I'm not one to go home a lot. I've only been out for a month this time, 4 weeks. I generally stay out at least 6 weeks at a time. And it's not because my company demands it either. My company will let me go home anytime I want to. Well, I just realized that I've got out of the city, and that video is pretty dark. Every once in a while, hey look, I go underneath the street light, you can see a little bit of it. But y'all don't need to look at my ugly face anyway. This is the information I was talking about that was important. This is night driving, folks. This is what we do. Excuse me. Well, I probably covered most of the information I wanted to cover. I'm sure I forgot several little tips. There'll be more YouTube videos. I'm sure we'll catch up on this topic again. Anyway, folks, this is Driving at Night. I kind of like it. Oh, for those that are going to ask the question, no, I've never seen a UFO driving across the country in the middle of nowhere at night. Never seen it. Never seen anything spooky or goes boo in the dark, so just save those questions. There ain't nothing out here in the dark that's not out here during the day. Don't let it freak you out. Anyway, that was my little tip. That's a little night driving. I hope I shared something that helps you. Some of y'all can use. Oh, dragging a reefer at night. Here's a little something that some of you may not know. When I look out my left mirror, I can see the corner, the front left corner of this reefer trailer. Now, this one that I'm pulling here actually has a Thermo King cooler on the front of the reefer. There's a T that's lit up with little white lights. So it's a little white glowing T. That lets me know whenever I look back in that mirror that my reefer is on and it's running and everything is going just fine. If there was something wrong with it and it was running a fault code, saying that there's something wrong with it, that T turns to an amber color. Some guys, some reefers just have a green light. Green light says everything's good. The light turns to amber, you got a problem. And when you're dragging a reefer, and your entire load has to be at a certain temperature, you babysit that reefer. You make sure it's always full of fuel. I've always got enough fuel in my reefer to last more than 24 hours longer than I need it to. Just something that you don't mess around with. This load I'm carrying right now has a set point in the reefer. It's 33 degrees. That means whatever I'm hauling is not actually frozen. Now on my paperwork it says I have to run my reefer continuous, has to be below 40 degrees at all time, and the set point on my reefer is at 33. If I was carrying a frozen load, most of the frozen loads we actually carry at -10. Brr. Yeah, you can really tell a -10 load when you open the back doors of the trailer before you come in the dock. Because whenever you open the doors at -10, 70 to 80 degrees outside, you get this rolling air crystal fog comes falling out of the back of the trailer when you open it up. So you can always tell frozen load. You don't even have to look at the thermostat, One thing about a frozen load, -10 degrees, here's a little hint for you. Make sure you put your gloves on before you go in and grab your load locks. Remember, they're at -10 degrees. You go in there with the moisture on your hands, grab your load locks, your hands flesh may freeze to your load locks. Put your gloves on before you go in your reefer at -10. Anyway, I've rambled along here long enough. Wow, I killed some time here. Over 20 minutes. Oh, there's a guy on the right side of the road. You see a truck parked on the right side of the road, you get in the left lane. Do not pass him sitting off the side of the road and just stay in the right lane. Get away from him. Anyway, another little safety tip. Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here. This video's been long enough. Well, y'all have a blessed night. Sweet dreams. God be with you all. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.